everyone. Uh, Namaste and good evening, everyone, to all the fellow esteemed members, fellow chartered accountants, for joining us today for another enriching session of Golden Charcha. I'm CA Rashi Sonthalia, and I have the privilege of coordinating today's session. Golden Charcha has truly emerged as a golden initiative by the EIRC of ICAI, bringing cutting-edge knowledge directly to your screens. This initiative reflects our commitment to continuous professional development and ensuring that every member of our fraternity stays equipped with the latest tools and techniques. Before we proceed, I would like to express a heartfelt gratitude to CA Vishnu Kumar Tansyang, our dynamic chairman of EIRC, whose visionary leadership and commitment to professional excellence has made initiatives like Golden Charcha possible. Under his guidance, with the theme Be Promoting Inclusivity and Togetherness, EIRC continues to provide equal platforms and opportunities to all CAs to grow and excel. His dedication to fostering and collaborating learning environment has truly transformed how we approach professional development in our region. In today's session, we have an exciting topic, use of Power Query in day-to-day practice. I'm delighted to introduce our speaker for today, CA Renu Modi. She's a fellow chartered accountant and is a partner in RP Modi and Company, Kolkata, with over 20 years of experience in corporate law, taxation, auditing, and GST. She's a rank holder in both CA Foundation and Intermediate. She is a commerce graduate from Sri Sikshayatan College and holds qualification certificates in a DISA and GST. Renu is a sought-after speaker and prolific writer on contemporary professional topics. Her recent win at the AI Catalyst and AI Innovation Contest at ACAE marks her tribalizing journey into emerging technologies. A former member of the Women's Committee of EIRC, she is currently serving as a special invitee to the Women and Young Member Excellence Committee of EIRC. A certified pranic healer, she gracefully blends her professional pursuits with wellness and holistic views. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us for the session today.
Thank you, Rashi. Thank you for the introduction. And thank you, EIRC, for having me here. So, our topic for today is Power Query in our day-to-day practice. So, may I first ask the attendees or the participants as to who all are aware what is Power Query? Can we have a reply on the chat, please? Who amongst us are aware what is Power Query? Anybody? Was it not clear? Rashi?
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
clear? Am I
Yes,
clear?
yes. Yeah, you're audible.
But I can see a message voice is getting high and low. Sanjeev ji, am I clear now?
It is breaking. Could you use your phones if you have one?
Okay. Am I audible now?
Ma'am, if you could be a little louder.
Just a second.
Yeah, it's better now.
Am I audible now? Voice is clear?
Yeah, voice is clear.
So, how many of us are aware what Power Query is? Anybody who has the slightest idea as to what is Power Query? Nobody? So we as CAs, we have always been saying that Excel is our second home, right? But I personally, if I say it from my experience, I at times felt that this is more like a haunted house with messy data in every corner chasing us. Till the time I had this Power Query in my hand, I have been fighting with the messy data which I needed to organize. I needed to split. No, Power BI is different. Power Query is different. So Power Query, it is an automation tool, or we can say a simplification tool which has been inbuilt into Excel, which helps us sort the data and arrange it in a better format. Like we can say it is an ETL tool. It's like extract, transform, and then load. And the best part it is automated. That is, if we say transform a data once, and then every time if we change the source file, we don't need to do those steps again, and it automatically uh, does the same steps and gives us the refined version of the data, and that too pulled into Excel. So it is a tool, or we can say an AI tool which has been inbuilt into the Excel itself to make our life easy. We cannot say it is a macro, because yes, the best part is key in VBA or a macro is like it just repeats the step in the Excel itself, like the exact cell column and all. But Power Query is like, if I will just see the live demo now. So we can use Power Query without even knowing the VBA coding and all. It's like VBA coding, if we would know, we could do those things only after knowing the coding. But after the Power Query tool that we have, we can do things, we can automate things, we can sort things, we can simplify data, we can sort data repetitively without repeating the steps and without knowing the coding part. Okay, so I'll just share my screen first to just make you aware of the basic how Power Query works, what Power Query is, right? I'll screen share, entire screen, share. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, thank you, Rashi. So now I'll just open a query file just to first give an introduction as to what the Power Query actually is, right? So this is my file wherein I have a query imported, right? How do I minimize this? See, like this is my query. If I go to query, data, queries and connections, so this is the query which opens up on the right side. It shows me how this final data has come up, right? And if I go to any part of the query, say if I open this query, then this is my query, which on the right side shows me what I had done, what are the various steps that I have taken. Okay. Now if I cross this, then this step which I have done will be deleted, and I'll be back to the previous step. So we'll do this practically when I'm demonstrating one particular live this day-to-day example. So this is the source data. This shows what is the source of this particular query, and then what have I done. These are the various steps that has been done. Okay. So this Power Query we can use in various day-to-day activity, day-to-day job which we need to do in our this
profession. So now we have completed with our ITR filing. The next step we'll need to proceed is the tax audit. So there are several details for the tax audit which we'll need. Say for example, the tax audit reports receipt has that TDS wala schedule that is to be made. What are the TDS deductions that has been made on various expenditures and whether the TDS has been deposited properly or not. So we have that TDS conso file from the TDS CPC portal. So we can import those TDS conso file to get the entire detail in an Excel file, and then we can use it with a pivot table or other variations as per our need. Accordingly, we need to do GST reco every month, our books and to be reco. That can be done with the Power Query. Then say at the year end, we need to finalize the accounts with all the GST inputs as per to be, whether that to be tallies with our books. As being an auditor, we need to check at the year end whether all the expenses which has been appearing in our to be does come in the books of the accounts of the client or not. So with the help of Power Query, we can just with the click of a button, we can import all the 2Bs into a single Excel sheet, and we don't need to do that. We'll just refresh the file. Say if we have done it for a month, we'll put the other month ka file in the folder, and we'll just refresh the file and we'll get the details for both the months. Similarly, if we move on to all the month after month, we can get the entire details for the entire year. So first we'll start with GST reco, and then we'll just have a glimpse of those TDS details, that 3B, 2B details, GSTR1 details and others. So starting with ITC GST reco. See, here in the folder, I have with me 2B for the month of April. This is my 2B for the month of April. Although it is a demo file, it does not show the real party names. I'll just give a glimpse of you. It is exactly the way we get it from the GST portal. We have B2B details. So here I've just changed the details for the sake of privacy of the client and others. This is B2B file that I have, GST 2B. Then I have GST details for the month of April, which is extracted from Tally, exported from Tally, I can say. So this is for the month of April. This exactly in the we can get this exact format from Tally if we go to voucher register and we export. So this is the purchase voucher register, right? So these are the two files that we get every month. Now we need a reco for both. So first thing is, what are the files which can be extracted into Power Query? We have PDFs. PDFs can be exported. We'll see it from here itself. We'll go to data, get data from files. So what are the various kinds of file which the Power Query can work upon with? So it is Excel. There are several data in the Excel. Say we have data in the different sheets. We want it all together in one particular sheet. So this their data import from Excel can be used. Then we have text or CSV file like the TDS console file and all. We can import data from XML. We can import data from JSON file. We can import data from PDF, and we can also import data from folder. So folder may we can have all these files, any of these are files, but one kind in a particular folder. So we'll start off with particular folder, data import from folder. I'll go to first I'll import 2B file. I'll open because this is the folder that I've chosen for the files to be imported. Now it will show me all the files that I have in my folder. So at present I have just one file, which is the April ka GSTR 2B. So I'll click combine and transform data. Now it will show me all the sheets that that particular file has. So whatever sheet, I can import one sheet at a time. So whichever sheet I want, I'll just choose that. and I'll click on OK. So for the GST reco, I'll need B2B presently. So I'm just clicking on B2B and I'll click on OK. So slow. So this I can say is my query file, wherein the data sorting or data you can say cleaning happens, right? So the various options that I have here is choose columns, remove columns, keep rows, remove rows, split columns. Then I have use first row as headers. Then we have replace values. We have merge queries. We have append queries. Okay? So we'll work upon it now. From this GSTR2B, the columns that we will need, I'll just rename those columns and then we'll remove other columns. So we'll need the GSTIN file. So for the sake of simplicity, I'll just name this column as 2b.gstin. Then I have this 2b.party. One second. I'm just giving this file, these columns a specific name because I'll be using a formula. So I don't want the time to be wasted for that. So I'll just use the exact wordings that I've used in the formula. It is GSTIN. So we don't have party, fine. Now coming back to the query sheet, this is invoice number. So this I'll name it as 2b dot invoice number. Then I'll need the invoice date column. Rename invoice date. Then this is invoice value. Invoice value, sorry, I'll make it 2b dot. Just to differentiate my data between the 2b and the bookware data. Then we have place of supply. I'll not need this for the reco thing. I'll need the taxable value for reco. So 2b dot taxable. Then I'll need IGST 2b.igst. Then I'll need SGST 2b.cgst. I'll need SGST 2b.sgst. Then yes, I think that's all the data that I'll need. Now I know, see, this part of the query, this shows the format of this column. So this column has ABCD, the text also as well as the numbers also. So first, I'll not need these 5 top rows. So I'll remove these top 5 rows. So I have this. Now I'll just select the columns that I'll need. So choose columns. Unselect all. I'll need GSTIN, party, invoice number, invoice date, invoice value, taxable value, IGST, CGST, and SGST. That's all. And now all these columns are decimals, right? The format of these numbers, this is the date. So I'll just right click on this and I'll change type to date. Then these columns are numbers. So I'll just select all these columns and I'll change type to decimal numbers. And then I'll close and load. So this is my 2B data, which has been imported into Excel with these columns that I needed. Now I'll again go to data, get data from file, from folder. from books. This time I'll take the data from books. Again, combine and transform data. This opens my, there's only one sheet which is present in this file. So it shows me that sheet, and this opens my query window, wherein I'll do the automation part. Why do we call it automation? If anybody can answer, why do I call it automation part or the cleaning part? So again, I'll here rename the columns. This is invoice date. This is party. This is GST. Then we have invoice number. We have taxable amount. We have IGST. We have CGST. We have SGST. And then one is tax amount. I won't need that. This is invoice amount. Invoice value. So these are the columns. So I'll just first remove the top rows that I don't need. Again, there are 5 rows if you can count that will not need. So I'll remove these 5 columns. We'll choose column. I'll need invoice date, party, GSTIN, invoice number, taxable, IGST, CGST, SGST, and my invoice value. And then I'll change the data type. This is my change type to date. Then I have, these are all text only. I'll have this, 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 and this. I'll change these to change type to decimal number. Then I'll close and load. So it gives me 2 sheets. One is books and the other is to be. Now what do I need is I need to merge these 2 queries and then compare these 2 queries and give me the mismatch details, right? So for that I'll go to query. I'll click on merge. So it asks me select tables and the matching columns to create a merged table. So it says merge books with to be, and then I'll merge GSTIN and invoice number, and यहाँ पे I'll select full outer, all rows from both, and यहाँ पे it will be GSTIN and invoice. Okay. Now it again opens a query table, query box, wherein I get the details as per books. So date, invoice date, party, GSTIN, invoice number, taxable value, IGST, CGST, SGST, and I get the to be thing in a compiled format, in a consolidated format. So if I click on this, it shows me all the columns with this to be has, and I want to expand it. So with this, I'll just unselect this original column name as prefix, because otherwise it will change my column names. Sorry. How do I hide this chart is here? Okay. Now it gives me 2 columns side by side, one entirely first books ka, and then invoice ka. So I'll just select this, select all, and then I'll click on OK. So now it How come I'm getting this null values? Acha. And then it gives me to be ka details. After this, I'll just need to add one column, which is a custom column, wherein I'll have the status matching status, or I can say status column. Here, I'll give my formula. So the formula says, if I come to my formula file, it says if. Now, if we remember the to be ka data, whichever I have imported, I have just renamed those cells as to be.gstin, to be.invoice value, to be.igst. So, if this formula says if to be.gstin is equals to null, means there is no data in the gstin column of the to be data, then write missing in to be. Else check if gstin is equals to null, it will say me missing in books. Then if else it will check without the upper and the lower case thing, gstin is not equal to gstin. There is gstin, but there is some mismatch. Then it says gstin mismatch. If invoice number is not equal to be invoice number, then it says me invoice number mismatch. And if number round taxable value is not equal to be taxable value, then it says me taxable amount mismatch, or else it will compare the GST amount and give me GST breakup mismatch. So I'll just copy this formula and I'll put it here. So it says no syntax errors. That means the formula is correctly identified. Now, if we put in here, see, it shows me the status for each column. Now, I'll just close and load. So, it gives me a third sheet, which is just so it gives me third sheet, which gives me all data for the books first. I'll just go column wise, and then from here it shows me the data of GST to be, and the last column it gives me the matching status. Missing in books means this data is present in my to be. See, the book column is empty here. This row is empty for the book part thing because there is no such data in the books. On 22nd of April, I have party this, GST and this, invoice number this, taxable value this, GST amount this, and same day I have the GST and matching, invoice number matching, and all the columns matching. So it says taxable amount mismatch. There is a difference in the taxable amount only. See, here it is 11.1105, and this it is 1105.26. Here it is 1105 taxable amount, sorry, 12280, and here it is 13069. So there is the GSTN number with the invoice number on the same date, but there is a difference in the taxable amount. Similarly, it shows me matched, means it matches in all respect. Then it shows me missing in books. Then it shows me missing in, see, there's a GST breakup mismatch. Here it is 1529 CGST as GST, while here we have CGS, IGST amount as well. So there is a difference in the GST breakup amount. Then we have missing in books, matched. Now these are the data which is missing in 2B. We have these data in the books, but there is no such data on Power Query. Now what I will do is, I'll just save this file. I just save this file, right? And now we know all the data that this file contains is for the month of April, because we have taken the to be as well as books data for the month of April. Now I'll close this file. I'll again open it. Now what I'll do is the source for this data. Now can anyone please tell me first, what is the source for this data that this Power Query has brought in? How to, I'll just come up with some questions. Sheet automatically created. Sanjeev ji, can I just get your question clearly? What do you mean by sheet automatically created? Yeah. Once we close and load that query sheet, then the sheet automatically creates. The Power Query creates that sheet. And second question is how to create the formula where to. It is just like we use formula in Excel. If then else. It's the same formula that has been used. I just copied it because I would have to be particular with the column names then. Otherwise, it is just simple formula of if then else that we apply in the Excel thing. See, I'll just explain this formula once. See, it says if to be GSTN, like we have a column which is named as to be.gstn. So this formula says if the figure in this column is equals to null, matlab if there is no figure, then the status says missing in to be. It first checks this, and if it is not so, then it checks whether the GSTIN is equals to null. If it is so, it says missing in books, and then it checks whether GSTIN is or not equal to be GSTIN. Then it says there is a GSTIN mismatch. It may get, say, invoice number is similar, date is similar, but there is a difference in GSTIN number. For that, it says GSTIN mismatch. So it is just if then else ka formula that I have created, and you can create it for anything that you want. Am I clear, Sanjeev ji? Achha. Now the source data for this query that I have created, the merge file that is created, what is the source for this file? If anyone can say. I'll just come back to the formula, Binod ji. Can anyone tell me what is the source for the query file that we have created? Where is this data coming from? It's coming from the to be and the books folder. When I clicked on get data from, I clicked these two folders, right? First this to be folder and then the books folder. So now what do I do is from this to be folder, I'll delete this April ka file and I'll just copy May ka file. And then in books folder again, I'll just delete April ka data and I'll copy May ka file. Now coming back to this query sheet, abhi it shows me April ka data. Say after I've done the April ka reco, now I want is for the next month. So do I need to do this entire process every month? Definitely no, because that is the purpose of Power Query. Ki once I have done it, every month I just need to click one single button. So going to query, going to data, or else I'll just go to query and I'll click on the refresh button. Once I click on refresh button, it will pull in the data, whatever is there in those two folders. So since I have replaced my data in that folder with the make a data, this query will now show me make a reconciliation. See, now we have all the invoices for the month of May for to be as well as, see, this is to be ka invoice date and this is books ka invoice date. So similarly, every month we just need to put in the data for the next month in these two files and click on the refresh button once we have created this Excel sheet. And we have a ready reco for the GSTR 2B and the books. So this is the magic of Power Query. We just need to build the thing once and that too without knowing the coding thing. So while I'll just come to a little technical part of this query. So how do I get this right ka thing again? I'll go to data, I'll click on queries and connections. So it shows me all the queries that I have created. I'll go to merge file. So what is this right side? Acha, merged ka to theek hai, we have 3 simple steps. I'll go to, see what
Ma'am,
did I do in the merge file? Sorry.
there's a query. They're
Yeah.
asking if the April data
If there are 2
match.
files, it will combine the data for both the files and pull in the data. It will show you the record for both the months together.
No, like we just shifted from April's data to May's data, right? So will
Right.
the April's reconciliation disappear?
Yeah. For that, if you want the reconciliation, you have to keep it in a copy and keep it in another file. Or else, if you put both the files in that folder, it will show you April as well as May ka record. So whatever files are there in that folder, it will show you all the combined data. So coming back to like what did I do with the merged file? I just took the source first, then I expanded to be, right? If you all remember, I clicked on this yahan pe, one icon and then the to be was expanded and then I just added one column, one custom column. So it is showing me the steps. So if I go to the second query, the first I imported to be, right? Then I imported books. So what did I do in to be? Books ka query. See, first I took the source file, then I filtered the hidden files. It came. I removed some columns, right? Then I expanded the table column. Then I changed the type. So if I did a one step and I realized I was not supposed to do that step, I just need to click on this cross button and that step will be removed and I'll move back to the previous step. So it's not ki if I've done something, it will be like pura heavy. We can just go back to whatever step we want to, clicking on the cross buttons of each. So how does this query work? Once the query is open, if I go to advanced editor, so this all of this Power Query thing, it works on the coding. So how is this coding created? I'll just give you a glimpse of it, so that we have the basic idea as to what Power Query is. It is nothing but the coding language that the computer or the Excel understands and do what we are telling them to do it. It's taking time. See, this is an advanced editor where it shows the entire coding of whatever we have done. It says first take file from this path. This is the path for the folder that we have given the Power Query. And then it gives the various steps that we have done in the coding format, and the Power Query does that. Right? So coming back to, I hope this GST reco is clear with all. We can do 1 month ka reco, we can do several months ka record together. Why imported data is always in? Because it is like Power Query always gives the results in the table format, so that we can, if we insert a row or if we delete a row or insert a column, we work with the table, then it works. There's an automation with the table thing. Like if it is not a table and if we import a, like if we can just create a pivot table with this and see what a particular GSTIN has, what are the transactions that we have done with a particular party or a particular GSTIN. So if it is in a table format, anything inserted or removed will automatically be adjusted with the formulas. So Power Query always gives the results. We can even use filter here to sort out our queries to get particular GSTIN data or with the particular taxable amount higher than, lower than, anything. So it works in the table format. So if we are done, we are all done with the basic idea about Power Query and the GST reco thing. Shall we just move on quickly to the tedious console file import? Should we? Any query in the GST and GST reco thing from PDF? Like we want to see something imported from PDF, right? Okay, then we'll import this to be from PDF, right? So I'll close this file. Now coming back to Excel again. Again, PDF may we can do it with a single file or we can do it with a folder. The best advantage to do it with a folder is कि whenever we change the files in the folder, then the query gets refreshed just with the click of a refresh button. But if we do with a particular file, then whatever is the data in that particular file, we'll get the data from that file it's only. So from file, from PDF. PDF may we can do the data import from GSTR3B. We can do the data import from GSTR1, GSTR2B. So this is GSTR2B. This is the PDF. Sorry, this is Excel file. Say I have 3B returns in a PDF format, right? I'll import this. Even 2B, if I have in the PDF format, we can very easily import it into this Excel. But since GSTR2B is already available in Excel, but yes, we can combine all the Excel files and get one particular file with all the year throughout the year data, and then we can create pivot tables and work for our audit purpose. So this is my 3B, page 2. I'll just click on this. These are the various details. I'll just click load and close. And it imports my data. Now say, now at present in that folder, I have only April ka file, right? And I have chosen import from PDF, not from folder. But if I would choose import from folder, then it will come in this format. And if I add on files in this folder, then it will just give me a combined data for all the months. And if I click on say, if I want to know what is my inward supplies from ISD or else only all other ITC figures. And if I choose that, then it will show me all other ITC of all the months combined. I'll show you. So this was just from PDF and I'll show you one from folder. 3B returns. So this is my 3B combined. So this is combined for all the months. This shows me the source file, that is April, August, December. So if say I want to know outward supplies, my total outward supplies for the year. So I'll just click filter this out and it gives me the total taxable value at one place together. So total GST, if we need to record it with the books of the accounts of the client, I can easily do it. So this is with 2B. Now say, if I want to, say this is 3B. So I have all the, sorry, this is just one file. I have not clicked on the refresh. If I click on refresh, it will show me only for the month of April. Again, 2B, if I import it, this is Excel file. We can import it from Excel as well as PDF. And if we have many number of files, see, I'll show you यहाँ पे. So this is my 2B. For all the months together, so this is my 2B for the entire year. For the entire year, this is Acha, this is filtered. So if I create a pivot table out of it, I think यहाँ पे it is created. So this is my entire to be imported, right? For month of January, say February, Feb, March, April, all the entire year is created, and now I've created a pivot table out of it. So it shows me party wise total amount, sum of taxable value and the tax amount. And once I click on any party, I'll get the detail. I'll get the details for each party invoice wise. It creates a sheet for each party that I may need to work upon. Right? Now, quickly moving forward, since we are in short of time, I'll just show you once TDS console ka import, because that is a little different from others because it is in a text file. I'll open Excel, data, get data from folder. TDS console, right? Presently, I have just one file in that folder. This is one file that I have in that folder. I'll click on combine and transform data. So what happens in TDS or any text file for that matter is there is a delimiter used and it is in a continuous text format. The data is in a continuous text format. So this is the format of the data that we have. The data is just split by a delimiter. So I'll just import it first into a query. So it shows me data in this format. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to this column. I'll go to split column. I want to split this column, right? And what is my delimiter? Delimiter is this upper arrow. So I'll just, and it says यहाँ पे each occurrence of the delimiter I need to split the data. So I'll click on OK. See, it splits the data and gives me one column for each delimiter thing. See, यहाँ पे we have all the deductive details. So first I'll just choose the columns whichever I need. So I'll just take first this PAN number, which is column number 1.10, 1.13. Then we have TDS 1.14. यहाँ पे we have this amount paid is 1.22, and then GST का TDS section, that is 1.34. I'll just choose these columns and remove the rest. We have 1.10, 1. I don't remember, 13, 14, 22, 34, 34. Yeah, I'm just taking it lump sum, some few columns that I might need. Okay. So this is my amount paid. This is my TDS amount. This is my TDS deducted date. And then I just missed out one column, that is TDS deposit date. We'll take that. And यहाँ पे I'll just click on or else I'll filter. अच्छा, DDs have been filtered. So यहाँ पे I'll just filter out nil, blank, and the null column. I'll just filter out blank and we'll close and load. See, I have all the deductive details, jiska I have deducted TDS, and I can use this sheet easily to make my 3CD ka TDS disclosure, TDS details, under which section, what is the amount paid, what is the TDS deducted amount, and if I want, I can get the TDS deposited date, TDS deducted date, whatever. So this we can use it for audit purpose also, so as to what are the expenses on which the TDS has been deducted, and we can use it for the 3CD disclosure purpose as well. So there are lot of things that we can do with Power Query. It is like we first need to identify what is our requirement and how we can use Power Query to fulfill that requirement. There are a lot of things which we can sort out, which we can clean the data, or we can arrange the data in a proper format the way we need it with any kind of files: text file, CSV file, JSON file, XML file, PDF file, or from a folder. So we can use Power Query to the best of our requirement as and when needed. I think we are up with the time, so I would just close my deliberation here. I hope people or attendees have understood as to what has been explained, or they'll be able to use this Power Query. And in case anybody has any query, I'm always there. I'll just type in my phone number if anybody has a query or any. Even one more thing, Power Query is such an outstanding tool. You can even you can import data from Tally as well. So I have automated my financial statements based on with the help of Power Query. So this is my phone number. In case anybody needs any help, I'm always there. Just a call away. So over to you, Rashi.
Ma'am, there's an additional query.
Yeah.
Can it be done for cash payments over limits from Tally?
Yes, if you import a cash ledger from Tally, because Tally ke through you can import data through Tally ODBC. Get data from me. There's an option in Power Query which says get data from other sources, that is Tally ODBC. So if we connect it to the Tally, we can import all the data from the Tally and we can work on whatever data we want.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an insightful session and practical session on Power Query. Your experience has truly demonstrated how we can transform our day-to-day handling tasks from tedious manual process into efficient and automated workflows. The techniques you shared today will undoubtedly help us and our members and save valuable time. To all our participants, I just want to thank them for joining today. And I hope that you have gained an practical insights that you can immediately implement in your practice. So that's it for our time. I think we'll end this session here.
Yeah. Thank you, Rashi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.